So our starting point in most cases is the Certificate 3. So the qualification is called Certificate 3 in Music Industry. And this is the normal starting point for most students. From there, we go to the Certificate 4 in Music Industry, and we offer that in second semester. And then in second year, we offer the Diploma of Music Industry. Now, it is possible to start at diploma level. We might talk about that a little bit later. So in terms of the Certificate 3 in Music Industry, there are two options coming into this course. One is that you're a sound student, and the other is that you're a music performance student. There are a lot of core units. So actually most of the classes that you do are shared between the two student types. However, there are a couple of differences. So one of the units that all of the students do in the Certificate 3 is called Record and Mix a Basic Music Demo. So we have some basic sound recording equipment that we have the Cert 3 students use. And that's usually done over about 9 weeks, where they have to do some recordings of themselves or the other students. So I might actually throw over to Dan now, and he can tell you about the Certificate 3 if you come in as a performance student.
Yeah. Hey guys. So the main difference is, as Mark said, we have a series of core subjects that the sound and music performance students all do together. But the main difference is obviously the actual performing subjects, where the sound guys will be doing some live sound type things, and the music guys will be doing the performing. So we run those classes at the same time. So when we have our music performances, it means that our sound guys that are also doing the Cert 3 at the same time are able to be a part of those performances as well, looking after the sound for the musicians. So in a nutshell, with the Certificate 3, when you come in, we have a series of copyright, WHS classes, and business classes that everyone does together. And then we have some basic music literacy classes where we learn how to read music, understand key signatures and basic diatonic tonality and rhythms and things like that, which again, the sound guys do with us as well. And then we have our ensemble classes where we're performing, rehearsing with an ensemble. The ensembles are set up so it's not just the Cert 3s. You'll have a variation of diploma students, Cert 3 students, sometimes even Cert 4 students in the ensemble, all taking on different roles. And then when you go into the diploma, that's where you get to do a subject with the sound guys actually called projects, which I think is one of our keystone subjects, which is great here. At that point, apart from doing ensembles, you're always doing ensembles within your ensemble class, but in the projects class, that's where you get a chance to really branch out and do your own thing, your own project over the year. So most people will record an album in the studio or possibly music videos, lots of different things, but that's your chance to really utilize these fantastic facilities, and you get to do probably, if you're a musician, a project with a sound student, so you guys can produce your own stuff that you can get out there. So real world industry experience in a studio. So.
Yeah, probably the last thing to mention on that point is you can actually be an electronic musician. So if you've done some music on a computer, then you can come in and do the performance stream as what we call an Electronica student. So they do a slightly different thing to the other performance students. We learn how to use an analog synthesizer and how to incorporate that into music performance. We do some kind of iPad performances where we use a software called Korg Gadget, and then we move on to Ableton and using Ableton Live for live performance purposes. So we usually start the Electronica group off as their own self-contained group, just with the Electronica students. And the Cert 4, we often integrate them into our other ensembles so that they play with the live instrumentalists on their acoustic instruments. So it's probably a good time now to talk about the sound side of things. So Dan's discussed how it works for the music performance students, but I'll get into talking about how it works for the sound students. So the sound students do the same units, except they don't do ensembles. So Dan was talking about the performance students doing the ensembles class, whether they're put into a band. They actually don't do that. Yeah, so how does the sound course work? The units that you have instead of doing ensembles, you have a subject called Intro to Live Sound, and that's about learning how to use a small PA system and set that up for a small band kind of situation, maybe just with a singer and a keyboard and that kind of thing. The other class that you do in the Cert 3 that's different to the performance students is the Intro to Lighting class. So learning how to use the lighting system, learning how DMX works and setting it up and that whole thing. So for the sound students, you also do stage sound in second semester, where you learn how to set up a more complex stage. So that would include setting up all the microphones on the drums and the full band. And then in Diploma, we move into some more advanced subjects such as sound design. So sound design's doing sound effects for TV and film. We also have a gaming audio class that's part of the Cert 4. And then in Diploma, there's live sound, which is doing bigger PA stuff for concerts, that kind of thing. The Certificate 4 is when you get to use this room and this studio. So all of the students, not just the sound students, but the performance students as well, do this class in here called Studio Techniques, where they learn how to record sound and learn some mixing techniques, so learn how to mix sound as well. It progressively gets harder basically as it goes along, and that's the same for the music students and for the sound students.